How's it going, you guys? So, I'm reading through Joel Furman's book, Eat to Live. I got it used from a Goodwill for like $3. And obviously, I'm reading this through the lens of eating a low carb diet now for about 2 years. And also, I was vegan for 1 year. And I now understand how to interpret scientific research. And it's fascinating how much misinformation is packed into these plant based books, how much ridiculous nonsense is packed into these books. And part of the reason why I like to read vegan books is because I want to be sure that my information is rational. And so I read through these books and I ask myself questions and I doubt my own beliefs and I doubt the author's beliefs so that I can be sure that I'm not just like fooling myself, right? I want to read the other team's arguments to examine their validity. So let me read you some some of the funny stuff. Just one page that I'm on right now that I hear all the time. So I actually saw a meme posted by Dave Asprey on Instagram the other day where he said vegans will seriously look you in the eye and compare chicken breasts to broccoli. And I thought that was funny because I see it all the time. The protein content of broccoli versus chicken. Well, lo and behold, I just happened to be reading Joel Furman's book. And what do I see? Keep them. Let's see. Steak has only 6.4 grams of protein per 100 calories, and broccoli has 11.1 grams, almost twice as much. Okay, so more protein in broccoli per calorie compared to steak. The only problem is, in order to get 100 calories worth of broccoli, you'd have to eat like 8 cups of broccoli. That's the first thing. The second thing is, there's not 11 grams of protein in 100 calories of broccoli. There's more like 8. The third thing is, it doesn't say whether that's measured cooked or raw. And after you cook the broccoli, you're cooking a lot of the water and stuff out. So that's going to change the volume. The volume of broccoli, the overall volume of broccoli you'd have to eat to get that much protein is ridiculously unreasonable. Not to mention, most people experience extreme gas and flatulence even after, being on a vegan diet for years, still from these plant foods because of I forgot the particular fiber that's in broccoli. Is it oligosaccharides? I don't remember. But there's particular fibers and carbohydrates in broccoli that's extremely miserable to digest for humans. Okay, but you'd have to eat a lot of broccoli to get that much protein. Obviously, if you're a vegan, the better option would be things like beans and lentils, but those definitely have some problems as well. Now, continuing on the same page, Popeye was right. Greens pack a powerful punch. The biggest animals, elephants, gorillas, and rhinoceros, and hippopotamus and giraffes, all eat predominantly green, leafy vegetation. How do they get that much protein to get so big? Obviously, greens pack a powerful protein punch. In fact, all protein on the planet was formed from the effect of sunlight on green plants. The cow didn't eat another cow to form protein in its muscles. Guys, you've got to be like extremely new to nutrition and biology to understand why this is stupid. Oh, fuck. And I hear this all the time from vegans, and it's just crazy to me, like how they use these arguments. So cows eat leafy greens. They don't eat other cows to get their proteins. Wow. Okay. Well, cows are ruminant animals, and they have like multiple stomachs to digest these things. And gorillas, rhinoceros, they're giant. They weigh like thousands of pounds. They're huge animals, and they get most of their protein and calories from green vegetation. Well, what are some unique characteristics of these animals besides the fact that they have multiple stomachs to digest this food and they spend all day chewing it and regurgitating it, and they're grazing all day? They're literally eating these green vegetables all day long from their environment, not from the grocery store. They're eating leaves and things off the trees that are not hybridized for human consumption like the greens we buy from the marketplace. And they're grazing all day to get this vegetation. And they actually they can absorb, they can digest cellulose. They naturally produce a cellulase enzyme so that they can produce caloric energy from cellulase, which is a predominant energy source found in these green vegetables. Humans, they do not produce the cellulase enzyme, so we cannot produce the amount of calories from green vegetation that these animals that Dr. Joel Furman, for some reason, use as an example. So the main way that any organism is able to gain size and weight from food is by extracting caloric energy from that food, not just by protein. So the mere fact that humans can't even turn cellulose into calories should tell you that it's not a good idea to try to get big and gain muscle from broccoli and spinach, okay? Because we're not going to be able to get the same amount of calories. Now, another fact is if you look at the raw vegans that get most of their calories from raw greens, they are like anorexic as hell. And even the ones that eat a combination of fruit and greens, and fruit is obviously even digestible, they still they're the ones that end up on these vegan fail compilations. Not the cooked vegans that eat beans and things. So my point here is we're not elephants, we're not cows. This is obvious. We don't have the same digestive system as these herbivorous animals. And like, if the vegans really want to make compelling arguments to get people to think veganism's healthy, they need to abandon this dumb idea that we can eat the same diet as cows and gain the same amount of nutrients from it. And there was one more point I want to make about this. There's one more point. I forgot what it was. Oh, so the other thing. So if you want to test this theory yourself, okay? Again, these herbivorous animals, they don't eat hybridized green vegetables that humans selectively bred over time to be digestible and remove the anti-nutrient content. These herbivorous animals literally eat leaves off a tree. If you really want to think humans are herbivorous, go out there and eat these greens off of a tree. Now, there's a lot of carnivore dieters that actually hunt their own animals and eat the meat raw. There are. There's a lot of these carnivore people who eat raw meat. So a lot of vegans, they say, oh, like, humans aren't meant to eat meat. That's why we have to cook it. If you eat it raw, you'll get violently sick. That's brainwashing, and it's not true. And in unwesternized civilizations we've been eating, they still eat raw meat, and they've been doing it for a long time. I'm not advocating a raw meat diet. I made a video criticizing that too. My point, though, is that we're not herbivores and we're not meant to eat these green vegetables. That's a horrible survival strategy. Could you imagine, like, trying to live life like an herbivorous animal? You spend your whole day, like, chewing this vegetation only to extract, like, what? Fiber. By definition, fiber is indigestible matter that we can't digest. And then, like, we'd have to literally eat pounds of these vegetables to get adequate protein. And we still would look nothing like a rhino. We wouldn't produce the same kind of muscle mass that they would. It's just ridiculous. Not to mention the oxalate content and anti-nutrient content that a lot of people report kidney damage from. So, yeah, and it's just crazy that people are gonna, like, vegans will watch this video and think that I'm crazy, think that I'm wrong and stupid. So, yeah, crazy.